What do Donald Trump, Elvis Presley, the inventor of jeans, Levi Strauss, and the man behind Heinz tomato ketchup, John Heinz, have in common? Yes, they are all successful men, but that's not my point. They all have German ancestors and therefore belong to the so-called German Americans. To this day, with over 40 million US citizens, that's around 1/6 of the total population, they are the largest single ethnic group in America, ahead of Mexicans, Irish, and English. In my opinion, this map shows the dominance of Germans particularly impressively. It shows the largest ethnic group in each county in the USA. It shows very clearly how strongly German origin characterizes the country, especially in the Midwest and the northern states, but also in large parts of Florida, Texas, and California. But why are Germans so deeply rooted in American history and society? What challenges have they had to overcome? Why does hardly anyone still speak German? And how do they continue to shape the country's politics and economy today? The first German settlers arrived in North America in the 17th century. At that time, they tended to be small groups who settled mainly in Pennsylvania and surrounding areas such as upstate New York or New Jersey. They came mainly from the Palatinate, Alsace, Lorraine, and Switzerland, as these regions were particularly affected by the war. Another important reason was the aftermath of the bloody religious conflicts of the 30 Years' War. Religious minorities such as the Mennonites and Quakers often had no choice but to emigrate to America. German soldiers were also involved in the American War of Independence, but they mainly fought on the British side. This was because Great Britain itself lacked sufficient soldiers, and the German principalities saw this as a good source of income, which is why they lent their soldiers to the British. The soldiers were a valuable support for the British Army, as they were well trained and disciplined and significantly strengthened the British ranks. Although the British eventually lost and the USA became independent, many of the German mercenaries decided to stay in America. Many had fallen in love with the new country and the spirit of optimism and saw better opportunities there than on the old continent. A little fun fact on the side, there's a popular legend called the Muhlenberg legend, according to which German almost became the official language of the United States, supposedly missing by just one vote in 1794. Official German mass emigration began in the middle of the 19th century. One of the main reasons for this was the beginning of industrialization in Europe. The German states, which until then had tended to be agrarian, found it difficult to make the transition. Together with the failed German Revolution of 1848 and 1849, the first nationwide attempt to achieve political reforms, democracy and national unity, unemployment and poverty in Germany skyrocketed. In the following decades, several million Germans emigrated overseas with the dream of freedom and economic security. Only during the First World War and in the years that followed did German emigration decline briefly due to political tensions and anti-German sentiment. Nevertheless, more than 5.5 million Germans emigrated to the USA between 1820 and 1920. It was not until before the Second World War that there was another wave of emigration, when many politically persecuted people, academics, and above all Jews, including the scientist Albert Einstein and the later German Chancellor Willy Brandt, left the country. And in the post-war period too, many Germans came in search of better living conditions and economic opportunities. For more than 300 years, German immigrants have shaped American society in many ways. Christmas, for example, would probably be very different without the customs that German immigrants brought with them. Particularly in the 19th century, when industrialization was gaining momentum in the USA, Germans were in demand for their skills as craftsmen, blacksmiths, carpenters, and mechanical engineers. They also played a key role in agriculture. With their knowledge of the cultivation of grain, fruit, and vegetables, they made a decisive contribution to the United States, becoming one of the largest agricultural producers in the world. Last but not least, America also owes the founding of the first successful breweries to German immigration. Many German immigrants also founded successful companies that are among the largest and best known in the USA today. These include Boeing, the largest aviation company in the world, Levi Strauss with its jeans, and Anheuser-Busch, the country's best-known brewery. But why do so few people still speak German in the USA? During the First and Second World Wars, the German language was temporarily marginalized due to anti-German sentiment and even banned in some areas of public life. To avoid discrimination, Germans quickly learnt English. Many also changed their surnames and tried to integrate into American society as quickly as possible. Due to the similar language family, high work ethic, pursuit of economic success, and personal freedom, they quickly managed to learn the language and fully integrate into society. And that's it for today. The USA still remains a popular emigration destination for Germans. If you would like to find out more about the French overseas territory of French Polynesia, I recommend my video about it. Have fun watching it, and see you next time. Ciao!